Whistles the wind, stories untold. From Massachusetts, land of old, to Ohio's heart, where tales are bold. Family hugs, packed and gone, chasing horizons, chasing dawn. Winding roads we journey on, new beginnings, new songs spawn. From Mass to Ohio, hearts of fear break, breaking chains, our path is clear. From Mass to Oleon, dreams take flight into the darkness, embrace the night. Peaceful scenes, sunsets glowed, birds chirp aloud, rivers flowed. Fields of wildflowers, destiny showed, but shadows loom as chaos grows. Steel and fire, tombs turn dark, mighty sounds ignite the spark. Brutal riffs like wolf-pack bark, Ohio calls, leave your mark. From Mass to Ohio, hearts of fear break, breaking chains, our path is clear. From Mass to Oleon, dreams take flight into the darkness, embrace the night. To Ohio, hearts in fear break, breaking chains, our path is clear. From Mass to Oleon, dreams take flight into the darkness, embrace the night. Morning sun, dreams unfold. Whistles the wind, stories untold. From Massachusetts, land of old, to Ohio's heart, where tales are bold. Family hugs, packed and gone, chasing horizons, chasing dawn. Winding roads we journey on, new beginnings, new songs spawn. From Mass to Ohio, hearts of fear break, breaking chains, our path is clear.
What's good, dude?
I hope you were ready for that.
Not at all.
Good. How are you doing tonight? How is your Friday treating you, sir?
It was good. Can't complain.
You know, it's a little weird. Going on oh, that was a beautiful sound. I actually lost my bottle opener, so I had to use my countertop.
No, it's called being MacGyver. It's fun.
It's called needing my drinky drink, as the kids say. I
I
don't know
think.
who the kids are, but they are saying it. My sources have confirmed.
I'll allow it.
Again, I don't know who they are, but my sources have confirmed. In fact, this this factoid, as it were.
Is it you don't know who they are, but you have a very particular set of skills?
Yes, I have a very particular set of skills. I don't know what that set of skills is. That's how particular that set of skills is.
Exactly.
Alrighty, so I think let's jump right into it, right?
Let's go.
Alright, what was the biggest news of the last week and a half, nostalgia wise? Nostalgia wise.
Oh, it's backyard sports.
Oh, backyard sports, buddy. Um, I think that's the hopping off sport point. Did you watch the trailer? If I can call it a trailer.
I did multiple times.
Um, I've been watching it every week, like every week, every day this week, since it's come out. Obviously, um, like first in the morning, like let's go to the backyard sports Instagram and watch the trailer, and it's like it hypes me up. It gets me ready to go for the day, and it's funny because it's literally just the backyard sports trailer. Like it's been around for how long, or it hasn't been around. What was the last game? It would have been backyard skateboarding, like 2010, which isn't a real backyard sports game. I don't care what anyone says. Not a real backyard sports game. I think the actual last backyard sports game is backyard hockey, and the best one
It,
is baseball, specifically 2003 baseball.
they've they went on this weird. If you want to call it a rebrand almost, where they just updated all the graphics and animation, and then that's where everybody fell off with it.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, I think the current graphics slash animation, it really looks like it's a throwback to that first backyard baseball game, the preview
Which,
of being in the game, which is fine because I actually
which
want
I
to play
think,
it.
which I think is actually a huge step in the right direction because they could have just remapped the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, they stuck with the 97 to 2003 ish graphics. That's how it should be. That's how it should have been.
I think it's a smart business move, right? I think that's kind of yes, it's video games, it's not sports, but I think we can look at it the same we look at like a business move from a sports organization. It's not necessarily the best option because it may cost a little more upfront, but I think you'll be able to bank on the nostalgia. Because I have no kids right now. Spoiler alert: I have no children. But I'm still, even though this game is going to be heavily targeted towards children, like it was, or positioned towards children. You can't market to children; that's illegal. But it'll be heavily positioned in its marketing towards children, and I think that's the market that's their target market. But all the 24 to 30-year-old men, and I think specifically men that had the game, they played the game, they loved the game, that are still play video games now. That's going to be a huge chunk of the market, even if they don't have kids. And even into like your 30s and 40s, I think if you're young enough, if you're a late millennial or early Gen X person, and there were games that did resonate more with boys than girls. Nothing against it. Speaking from my own experience with my own friends growing up, um, I think that's kind of the position that game took, and that's where they're going with it. And I think it's a good move because they can capture a market that is gonna be with a group of game, a type of game that people want to see.
Yeah, and I've told you prior to all this is that I've been playing that on a VM on my laptop.
Mm-hmm.
And there's people that are on TikTok that just stream playing any of those games because there's a way to access them still. But the fact that you're getting I don't know. I can't wait to see what the gameplay looks like personally because I think that's kind of how we'll judge it, and we'll obviously circle back to this when we get that. But to know that,
I'll be playing. I will stream it on my well here on the Twitch channel. I will stream it out of um, window. I'll stream it. Actually, I don't know when the games are coming out, but I can tell you that come December there will be backyard sports streams that I will be playing of the old ones. I have the physical discs. They're still at my parents' house. I forgot to bring them back with me when I moved to or came back from my summer vacation visiting my parents. But I'm going back for Thanksgiving, so I'll bring them back with me because I have a disc tray on my computer that I built specifically to play backyard sports games, and that's actually part of the reason I put a disc tray on my computer so that I could play my backyard baseball 2003 and backyard baseball 2001, original backyard basketball, backyard football 01 because that's the only backyard football game I had, and then backyard hockey
is
and backyard
I
soccer.
know
I had backyard soccer, so those will become making a comeback, and I will definitely at least for well, actually, I think every backyard sport, almost every backyard sports game except football. Actually, every backyard sports game except football, one of the teams in the game does not exist to some extent anymore. Actually, football does too, because there was a rebrand there as well. Can you name those teams?
I hope
Well,
um,
backyard basketball didn't have NBA teams, so that doesn't count. The original backyard basketball didn't have NBA teams. But if it had, it was at the time when the Supersonics were a team. They're gone.
Charlotte Bobcats too, right?
Oh no, Bobcats didn't exist yet. That would have been pre-Charlotte Bobcats, I believe. They still would have been the Charlotte Hornets, the original Charlotte Hornets. I could be wrong, but
Uh, let me use the Google real quick.
I'm doing the same thing.
So I had 2004, so that's where my brain
Is
is.
2004 the one with just Lisa Leslie and Kevin Garnett?
That is the one with Tim Duncan on the cover.
Oh no! I'm talking about the first one. I have the 2004 one for my PlayStation 2. But
So no, so my brain went to 04, and that's where the Charlotte Bobcats are in the game.
but because the first backyard basketball, the 2001 one, should have been
Unlicensed, is that what you're getting at?
there were two NBA players, Lisa Leslie and Kevin Garnett. They were the only ones.
Yeah. I'm not, got the wiki right here.
I do too, but they don't have the box art. But
It has the Garnett box art, but it says Lisa Leslie.
I only see the Duncan.
No, you're right. 2001 had Kevin Garnett and Lisa Leslie because I didn't have the full license yet.
Yep. But even then, like you had to use custom teams, which is fine. Even then, you didn't have the Bobcats didn't exist yet.
It's like the teams that they give you, like they're still iconic to because I've seen them rebranded for like adult softball leagues and stuff.
Oh yeah, no, like, and that's the thing. They were such generic names. They're perfect for like beer league names.
Exactly.
But yes, every backyard sports game that I own, I can tell you a team that doesn't exist either via rebrand or completely defunking. Again, backyard basketball, the first one didn't have a full NBA license, so that doesn't count. But the Charlotte Bobcats wouldn't have even existed yet, so it would be the original Charlotte Hornets.
So my thing is, I hope they start off unbranded or unlicensed,
I
just for the fact that just so that they can you can have the base, at least the base backyard baseball, because that's how the first one was, the '97 version. So I hope you can at least get one of those, and then they start pushing for the license.
so I'm
Just
actually
kind of
I'm gonna go opposite of you. I actually hope they can get a license for all sports off the rip because I think it's a good way to build sports fandoms. And I'm not gonna lie, I think part of me picking teams I picked was honestly partially due to the backyard sports games, like because I liked the logo so much, or like the one player they had from it was just really good in the game, and I kind of picked my teams a little bit that way.
yeah. You know who was at the forefront of this really before the trailer came out and all the Instagram posts?
The page bring back backyard sports.
Before that, yeah.
No,
So the Kelsey brothers were kind of they went on a tangent on their podcast about it, which I got to
JJ
find.
Watt, right?
Oh, I found it through the Kelsey brothers.
But I thought it was a tweet that JJ Watt made or something. JJ Watt I thought was involved in it.
It might have been in reference to that because I know Jason Kelsey was huge on it. So I hope if they do get the NFL license right away, they can use Jason and Travis. That'd be pretty sweet.
I hope they put Jason Kelsey in the game,
They need to put him in the game
even if
without.
even if it's 10 years post his retirement. And he's obviously he was an O lineman. Like realistically, he's not gonna be the greatest, but make him a good running back. Like, because hasn't he said on their podcast as well? He used to be a fullback.
That's what he was recruited as before when he went to UC, and then they converted him to be a center. So
So that logic, backyard sports, easy to convert him back to a fullback.
I don't disagree.
And then he could be on my D line, or he can be my center, and I'll be happy too.
Yeah, I'll pull. I don't think I can pull the clip for our reel, but I'll at least pull some Jason Kelsey content for that.
That's fine. I think he is. I think he being the kind of the face of the bring back backyard sports movement. And I think there have been a few other pages and everything that were also kind of the face, but I think Jason Kelsey is going to be the most famous name on it. Um,
Yeah, because I think the fact with I'm gonna go back to the trailer for a minute. The fact you have a lot of the core original players in the game, in those games, in the trailer. I love that.
oh, it's
Yeah.
amazing. It's perfect.
Honestly, it was the honestly one of my favorite revival trailers that I've seen, if not my favorite, because I like how much nostalgia I tie to it.
No, I agree. So that's kind of again. I do tie the nostalgia to again outside of backyard basketball, all the backyard sports games. I tie the nostalgia to like pro sports teams and pro sports players, like mixing with like these average kids, right? Obviously, Pablo Sanchez is the most above average baseball player and athlete ever.
He's the greatest athlete, not named Michael Jeffrey Jordan, but that's a debate for another day.
Yeah, but regardless, they they have these seemingly normal kids where every kid has this huge pitfall, right? Like if you look at every kid's stats, again, for the most part, Pablo's the exception that proves the rule. Every kid's like pretty damn good at everything except one thing. There's one thing that you're like, ooh, is that going to be my liability? Whether it's tangible or an intangible thing.
So like, I gotta get back into my backyard baseball build.
Mm-hmm.
But I remember Pablo leading off, right? Remember the ginger kid Pete Wheeler?
Oh yeah, Pete Wheeler. He was my leadoff guy. Like he was one of the few backyard kids I always drafted because I thought it was funny. Because like he was just. They did a great job of capturing the other walks of life. With him.
Yeah, because you have a lot of representation in those games too, which you don't really see anymore. Or you do, but not to that like such a magnified scale.
So I was gonna say, I think it's the opposite. I think they did a great job representing so much, but like making it obvious they're representing. Because let's be real, we all know Kenny Kawaguchi was in a wheelchair,
Yep.
and we wondered how he could play some of the sports because it just in our head didn't make sense because obviously there's accessible versions of every sport, but just mentally like basketball, I'd never seen wheelchair basketball. Did when Google started really becoming a thing, did I Google wheelchair basketball because I wanted to see what it was? Of course I did. Same with sled hockey. I kind of learned about sled hockey as a result of them having Kenny in the backyard hockey game.
Like, with that too, it's like you allow your consumer to, you allow the kids that play the game to kind of levitate towards one, even if it's just one of the kids in the game. You kind of associate, you can, makes it easy to associate with someone in that game, and that's why you pick them over and over and over again, no matter how many times you build a team.
Oh, and even if they're not as like they're not optimum,
No, it's just like the
you're like,
the
no, this is
personal relate. It's that personal relatability that
you.
really you get to see it.
You want to take that championship picture at the end of the season because let's be real, the season mode's also elite in backyard baseball or backyard every sport.
Yeah, I like how you unlock you. I do like how you unlock, especially like in the '04 and '05 games I played. You unlocked like you could see the fields you could unlock just for playing the season mode.
Yep. Um,
So
and you could set them as your
I,
home stadium if you start a new one. So like, I'll tell you a story. So my brother played a lot more. Like I played backyard baseball, but I would always play like 4 or 5 games and then just be like, oh, I'm bored of this team. Let me start a new team. My younger brother would actually play through the whole season, so he was the first one to win the I think they even called it the World Series, which is kind of wild to me. But he won the World Series in backyard baseball 03 first, and I realized that when I started a new season after he did that, I could use the World Series field and like the playoff field as my home field, which was kind of funny.
I think with '05 is that you could see the world. They used the World Series stadium for the All Star game.
There was an All Star game in the '05 version.
Yeah,
That's sick.
but what's cool is if you did certain things, like very specific baseball related things. Like Derek Jeter was an unlockable character.
Mm-hmm. Is this
Mike Piazza was
is this
unlockable.
the one that was on the PlayStation that had Eric Gagne in it?
Yeah.
I had that for the PS2. Actually, it's still at my mom's house.
Actually, let me
I didn't
hold on.
like that one as much
Hold
just
on.
because you had to unlock. Like it was nice that you got to unlock the kids, but it stunk because you had to unlock the kids.
Oh, I got it right here. So I just Googled all the unlockables here, right?
And you probably found a
So
page from 15 years ago.
no, it's literally just the GameSpot guide for all the unlockables.
Okay, so yes, a cheat code page from like 10, 15 years ago.
So
Almost 20.
right, there's one I never got on here.
What one?
Apparently, you get the basketball commentator if you name your coach Hoops. I didn't know that. I think I've done literally all of these except for that one because I didn't know that.
For the that was the baseball one, right?
Yeah, but the Barry
Barry
DJ was
DJ.
the basketball. Yeah, he was the basketball guy.
If you named your guy Hoops, exactly.
Yeah, so like Derek Jeter, you got by turning 2 double plays. Yeah, Randy Johnson was 20 career strikeouts with one player.
Yep, I've gotten him.
Sean Green was an unlockable.
I forgot Sean Green was still playing at that time. What was Gagne's unlock? I thought he was locked.
No, he was a base player.
He was base. All right, I must have used him a lot to get the Johnson.
Mike Piazza was unlockable. That might have been who you were thinking of.
What did you have to do to unlock Piazza?
Hit a grand slam.
I don't think I ever unlocked Piazza.
I did like very quick because I played it in. I think I picked one of the stadiums with a short fence, so it wasn't that hard.
Fair. I did like so going to the unlockable system was kind of cool, but it was weird because like you season and then start a new season to get the unlocked guys, right? If I remember correctly.
Um,
Again,
no, so
it's been 15 years since I played that game.
it's been 20 years since it's come out. So,
I know I played it for about 5 years. So
no, so Sean Green and Randy Johnson were like, if you played it, repetitive. So if you did like 3 or 4 seasons with it, those were career ones.
hmm
Greg Maddox was the same deal. So some of them were like, if you were grinding like the shortest season possible, you could probably get them in 2 or 3 seasons if you actually tried.
fair. But yeah, I remember I liked the PlayStation games. It's just the original PC games were just better, in my opinion. Um,
Yeah, because I got the OG backyard baseball in like a cereal box at my grandma's house,
yep.
and I did not leave the spare bedroom because I was playing that game for 3 4 hours at a time.
It's wild to think like those games could captivate us like for so long, right? Because there are days I remember, Saturdays or even weekdays during the summer. My dad would I'd get up before my dad would go to work, and I'd go downstairs to what's now honestly, ironically during COVID became his home office, but it was our computer room, right? Like we had a computer room.
Yeah.
Very New England thing of the late '90s. You had a bedroom, like usually in your basement or somewhere in the house that wasn't used as a bedroom, and it had the computer in it. And your parents were like, "Oh, that's the computer room," because they didn't want to call it their home office because it had a different connotation.
So for a while in my old house, our basement was finished,
Mm-hmm.
so we put a computer down there, and that's where I do all that. And then when we moved the computer, when I was in high school, the PC that I had just kept getting updated with the OS, but backyard baseball and basketball stayed on there.
yep.
So I was playing those through high school, and I'm like, all right,
Actually, I can tell you the last time I played backyard football. Give me 1 second.
I was playing it before we went live, so
No, I know, but so I'm pretty sure the first YouTube video on my YouTube page is a full. I one shot. Yeah, 6 hours, 25 minutes. I actually one shot the game, like the season mode of backyard football, 4 years ago.
was it the 99 or was it like oh
Oh
one?
one. So
Who were the pros in that one?
Brett Favre. Um, I think I drafted my team in like 2 minutes because I knew exactly the team I wanted.
I'm gonna look it up right here.
Drew Bledsoe, Brett Favre, Junior Seau.
Oh, holy unlockables!
There were no unlockables, or that I
No,
know of.
hold on. I was looking at the list of players in backyard baseball 2001, and there's a lot.
I haven't played backyard baseball 2001 in a minute. Um, but yeah, so
There's
that's the actual video.
were you able to use like Donovan McNabb or anything like that in that one, or am I thinking of a different one?
I think Donovan McNabb was in it. I really couldn't tell you off the
So,
top of my head.
so that's 04.
Oh no, I had 01. I know I had 01 because I only ever had 01 because it was Drew Bledsoe.
Oh, that was 99.
No, it's 2001. I know for a fact it's 2001.
The list I was looking at was I played 99, so that was the oh, okay, 2002. I think is what you're thinking of.
Yes, it's 2000. It's Backyard Football 2002. It came out in 2001. It is Backyard Football 2002 is the actual game. It had Bledsoe and McNabb as the cover athletes.
Yeah, because they didn't do yearlies. They kind of did like every like 3 years. They did a new one.
Yeah, so it's Terrell Davis, Steve McNair, Jovan Kurtz, Rich Gannon, Ricky Williams, Junior Seau, Donner McNabb, Cade McNown, It was a lot of people. And then the last backyard football came out in 2009. Backyard football 10. It's for the 360.
That was that on the DS too?
PS2, Wii, and 360. There was a Backyard Sports Rookie Rush that came out on the DS, and a Backyard Football 09 came out on the DS.
That was the one I had. That was the last one I
Tom,
played.
Tom Brady and stuff. But yeah, so
I think I had like 03, whichever one had Dante Culpepper on it. I had that for the Game Boy.
so again, mind you, how old Backyard Football 2002 is as an actual game. The Houston Texans were not in the game yet.
They were a year out. Right? That was a year out, wasn't it, from that?
So that's the only backyard sports game I can think of that a team hasn't gone away and it's only been both baseball and football are the ones that team hasn't gone away and it's been just a rebrand because obviously Washington rebranded twice since the backyard football game I had. And then baseball,
I think
Cleveland's rebranded, and I think that's the only team. Yeah, and Tampa's rebranded, and the Houston Astros have gone from the National League to the American League. Which is
Yeah.
kind of cool. Soccer, most of the teams don't exist anymore, or they've changed their names. Because all of the MLS teams have changed their names except for the Revolution and the Galaxy and the Fire. Dallas was the Dallas Burn, way better name than FC Dallas. I'm gonna rant about the MLS for a second here. The New York Red Bull, where the New York City, New York, New Jersey Metro Stars, also a better name. The Kansas City, whatever they're probably Kansas City FC or whatever. I don't actually remember. They're Sporting Kansas City rather. I do know it. They used to be the Kansas City Wizards. Chicago Fire still Chicago Fire. Revolution have changed their logo, but are still the Revolution. Columbus Crew is still Columbus Crew. Galaxy is still Galaxy. I think the Miami Fusion might have even been in backyard soccer. MLS edition, because that's the actual name of the game, is Backyard Soccer MLS edition. I need to know what teams were in it because I just can't remember.
Kind of crazy, like the scope that those games covered at that time too.
Yeah.
Like now that now every sport has their own licensed game, but it's like just for 20 years ago,
20
that
years
series coexisted with all of them.
No, it's wild to me because it's just one of those things where it's like, it's funny because then you had backyard hockey, right? Which there was two backyard.
Is that a one-off?
No, there were two backyard hockeys. It's backyard hockey and backyard hockey 2005. I think I had 2002 though. I really don't know which backyard hockey game I had because I didn't know there was backyard hockey 2005. But I might have also had it because I know it was Eiserman, Madonna, Sackett, Yager, again Labrador, Joseph.
It's 2002. You're reading off.
That's just the 2002 one.
Yeah, I think like I
I
was
just pulled
on
out Backyard Hockey 2005. So
I was just on a huge. Hold on.
oh yeah, no, Backyard Hockey 2005. That is not the right cover. I can tell you without looking at
Is
it.
that Thornton on the cover?
Yeah, that's the Thornton cover. I had the Mike Modano cover, which is the first one.
New name players from 2005. I'll see if you're right. I give you one.
Well, I can tell you Joe Thornton was on it because I can see the cover. Um,
Yep.
2005. Well, Yager was still relevant at the time, so he might have been in the game.
Yep.
Cujo's probably retired. That's
Who?
Chris Joseph.
Yeah, no, he's not on my list.
Because he was on the other one. He was in the 2002 edition.
Yeah, there's a couple like. I'm not as big of a hockey guy as you are, but I know who these people are. Type names.
Because I'm looking at the 2002 list right now.
I'm looking at the 05 list. That's what I'm quizzing you on.
Well, Joe Thornton actually was in 2002. Was Mike Modano in it?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it just the same list of people? Yager, Sakic, Eiserman, Aginla, Korea, Leach, Joseph,
No.
Brodeur? Because that's
Oh, Brodeur, yeah. Brodeur, yeah, but otherwise there's a few. Yager and so Thornton, Madonna, Yager, and Brodeur all carried over.
Okay. Was Roberto
I think
Luongo in it?
no.
Really?
If I give you three of them, I think you'll kind of be like, "That's how old I am now."
Give me one of them.
Do you want a forward or the one defenseman?
So the only goalie is Brodeur.
There were two goalies.
Who's the
One
other?
D.
Okay. Who's the other goalie? 2005 era. Who's good? We know Brodeur. Can you tell me the team he played for?
LA Kings.
Oh, Jonathan Quick.
No.
Oh, right. Jonathan Quick's still in high school at the time. Whoops.
In Connecticut, right?
Yeah, because you know what? He's not going to make his pro debut until 2010 for the AH. Well, 2009, 2008-ish. He'll make his pro debut in the ECHL for the Reading Royals. Then he'll play for the AHL's Manchester Monarchs before going to the Kings. All right, so it's a Kings goalie. Who were the Kings? It's not Grant Fuhrer, right?
No.
He should be retired by then. What's the first letter of the first name?
R. Or if you're from New England, it's A.
Is it a name I should know, or like you think I should know?
I don't know who this guy is, so that doesn't help you at all.
Well, his first name's probably like Renee or something ridiculous.
No. No Google. No Google.
I'm not Googling it.
All right.
Is it what's his first name?
Roman.
Why do I know that name? I know who it is and I don't know who it is.
It's Roman Czechmanic.
No way. They put Czechmanic in the game? He literally played for them for 1 year.
You know who else they put in there?
He was a flyer for the longest time. That's what
I'm gonna give you the right. So you should know Nicholas Lindstrom.
Yes, I do know Nicholas Lindstrom. I want to guess these names. Just give me the teams and the positions, and let's see if I can get them all.
All right, forward.
Okay, a forward.
The Atlanta Thrashers.
Ooh. So there's a couple good ones, but I'm gonna say it's Ilya Kovalchuk,
Yes, sir.
my favorite Washington Capital.
My favorite long-term contract that never panned out.
Unfortunately, he was very good at hockey. Very, very good at hockey.
All right, I'm gonna stick with the forwards for the Toronto Maple Leafs.
Toronto Maple Leafs, early 2000s. He's not playing yet. Um, first name, first letter, first name.
M.
M.
I'm allowed to look him up because I don't know who this guy is. Just so I know. Okay.
Is it Igor Hayduk?
No.
Actually, I don't think he ever played for the Leafs.
What if I said he was a Canuck for 1 year before he retired?
What year was he a Canuck?
0809.
Okay. Namesake. Give me his first name.
Mats.
Oh, Mats Sundin.
Yep.
One of the greatest Swedish hockey players ever. Or he's,
All right.
He's from a Nordic country, I know. I think it's Sweden.
Yeah, you're right. Sweden.
For whatever reason, I couldn't think of the name. I was like, when you told me 0809 Canucks and an M, I was like, I almost wanted to guess Mats Sundin, but I was like, that's such a wild guess. All right, who's next?
All right. Sticking with the forward. All right. So you guessed. I gave you the D man, and we got both goalies. So there's a couple forwards that I didn't bring up yet.
Okay.
We're gonna go with the forward for the Minnesota Wild.
Marion Gaborik.
Softball, isn't it?
I'm pretty sure he's the only forward the Minnesota Wild have had before Kirill Kaprizov.
Did they have
They've had a couple players, but
did they have Zuccarello?
oh yeah, they did have Matt Zuccarello.
Let me do the Google. Let me do the hockey.
You're right. They did have.
Now there's a hold on.
But Marion Gaborik is like, you tell me that you were a forward for the Minnesota Wild, I'm gonna guess you first, 100% of the time.
There's a name from like NHL 06 that I was like obsessed with, and I can't remember it. Didn't they have Oh yeah, Mikko Koivu. That's what I was thinking of.
Mikko Koivu. Yep, I forgot they had him because I always think of his brother or cousin or someone with the same name, Saku, who played for the Montreal Canadiens.
That's what. Okay. All right. So this is the last player you haven't guessed yet.
Alrighty.
Going to be the most local team to your centric location right now.
All right, so it's Columbus Blue Jackets and Rick Nash.
Yeah. All right.
Are you upset that I got it so easily?
No, some of them were actually like very, very easy. Like Yager was up there. Like, yeah. I think Sundin was like the one that took you the.
Sundin did take me the longest, and it's mostly because I forget that his name is Mats, and that even though he's most notably a Toronto Maple Leaf,
Then the other goalie took you a minute too, but.
But yeah, that's because let's be real, the early 2000s Kings were garbage. But all the other ones were like obvious answers. I feel like they always backyard sports always kind of sticks in a guy that's like very good, but not the first person you think of. Because like even looking at the old list, like Brian Leetch is a fantastic defenseman, but I don't think he's the best defenseman for the first one.
I'm looking at 02 right now, right?
Mm-hmm. Like Brian Leetch is probably the least qualified of the group, and that's a pretty high. That group's a pretty high bar though, because like Joel Thornton's elite and is gonna play forever. Granted, most of it's gonna be as a Shark, but he's gonna play forever. Modano's gonna play 999 games and play one season with the Red Wings. Steve Yzerman's GM of the Red Wings now. Jaromir Jagr, Jerome McGinley has the best interview ever with I think it's Boston 25. Have you seen that? He was in Worcester when it was snowing a couple winters ago, and like the broadcaster,
Years with the Bees, or is that years later?
it was after he had been retired. It was like 2022.
What would he be doing in Worcester though?
He lives there. He lives.
He lives there?
He still lives in Massachusetts.
Wait, didn't his son play like some prep school? Didn't Tease play somewhere?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. He just got drafted this year, actually.
Yeah, he's the first draft pick of the Utah Hockey Club until they decided to name themselves.
The Utah, we don't have a name yet.
They're doing the Washington football team, and I don't really like that, to be honest with you.
I mean, I said it from the get go. I think it's an awful name. Just pick a thing. I also was thoroughly convinced that part of the reasoning was they wanted to take the name Utah Grizzlies, but obviously the ECHL team still exists and has that name, and they couldn't get it.
I feel like they'd want to do their own thing. Honestly, but
So, my argument for why they should have taken the name Utah Grizzlies, and I'm very against teams getting killed off in any sports league, but
that's not their affiliate, right?
no. Ironically, they're the Colorado Avalanche's affiliate. The Utah Hockey Club's affiliate is. I was just looking at the ECHL affiliate page today. Well, obviously it's Tucson in the AHL, and it's. Is it the Allen Americans? Am I right? I am Googling this.
Actually,
I was on the page during work, so I am right. I'm a friggin' genius.
I mean,
I
guess is that it would change, right?
I'm not gonna lie. I have the ECHL affiliates pretty down pat.
I mean, it helps with work, right?
It does.
Just a little bit. I mean, if you want to stay on the topic, do you want to pivot to some other video game news, or?
Yeah, let's pivot. So obviously, the official version of the trailer, I know it leaked literally last Wednesday, like right before we streamed. That is when I watched the trailer for the first time last week. But NHL 25, I'm loving it. I actually have to go on that pre-order page because I am gonna pre-order it. I pre-ordered the game anyway, but
Yeah, I gotta get Madden. That's the one game I gotta get, but we'll get there.
I already have it. I've been playing it a little bit.
It's the same game every year,
The
but
only reason I got it this year is because I could get it with the bundle. I wish they'd bundle more games together. I don't want the base game. I want to pre-order the other one.
I did see the cover the other day, and I do dig the cover with the Hughes brothers on there.
I love the Hughes brothers idea. I think it's a great idea. But I would actually want to read one of the things. Pre-order. It's the deluxe edition. The Hut Hockey is Family Objectives Choice Pack. So it sounds like they're going to do stuff with family. So I'm obviously conjecture, but this is my predictions for the game. Ready? I think you're going to have, obviously they're going to do a Hockey is Family path. I think they will, guys in that reward path will be the Aginlas, the Sutters, the Sedin twins will be in there. Obviously, the Hughes brothers will be in there. And I would like to assume that you're going to get some of the more obscure family members. If they secure Brent Gretzky's rights, he'd be in there. former Toronto Maple Leaf Rick Five has gone back to the NHL games. His son is the captain of Cincinnati Cyclones, so I would like to see them tie him, Todd Bertuzzi, and his son Tag, who's also plays in the ECHL, and who's the other one?
Is it,
We had
they
another
already
guy. We had another
Bertuzzi?
what? Tyler's their cousin, or his Tag's cousin, Todd's nephew.
Each time of the throw. You throw that in there, right?
Yeah. No,
Throw all three in there.
you have the Sutters. You have there's so many like hockey families. Um, the Halls. So many hockey families that I think the fact that they've waited this long to do that something like that for Hut is ridiculous. And I realize Hut's the money grab game, and 9 out of 10 people just want the best card. They don't care who it is or the story behind the card. But I think the MLB the Show a couple years ago did the Father's Day program where they had the fathers and the sons, and I think that's kind of
That's a good pick.
that was 22 in MLB the Show.
I thought
That's the 22 Father's Day
they've
program.
they've done other fathers. They've done like other Father's Day
I,
stuff, but
every couple years they do it, but I remember that one because it had Boba Fett, it had Dante,
Dante,
it
the
had
Griffeys,
the Griffeys. Exactly.
Guerreros.
Yeah, exactly. The Vicios.
I feel like there's one more too. I'm like slipping on it.
The holidays.
That was this year, I think.
No, that was the last one.
Oh yeah. Because I think Matt Holiday made his return last year.
I'm definitely
But I think
pre-ordering this game.
that's such a
But my next paycheck, I'll pre-order it.
when you're able to link that kind of lineage together for something like Hut, it makes it that much for I'm gonna use like your crowd as like the guys that know like your stuff when it comes to all that.
Oh, and I think
So
you get more. This is my opinion. I think you get more Hut players by doing something like that. Because like
and then you
I'm not. I do play Hut. I play it free to play though. I'm not gonna spend money. And there's some events and programs where I'm like, oh, this is wicked cool. I'd love to do this. And then I'm like, but I'm not gonna spend money to grind it out because the grind doesn't feel worth it. I always build my Hut team's always a story. Um, Lots of times
so that
I go with the college theme. This year that was my bread and butter. I went for a team of all players that had played NCAA hockey or attended a university because obviously they did the content creators and I had the Nasher card. So with him having gone to Ohio State, he was qualified for my team. Um, Having a direct university tie. Um, because I did Google and I made sure. Oh, did Nasher go to a college? He did. He went to Ohio State in Columbus. And I was like, well, I really want to use him because he's one of the NHL content creators I like the most. And and I saw that he attended. It's I attended a college and I said perfect. And like my point stands. Let's say it's never gonna happen. But if I e-bugged and they did an e-bug card, right? Because they did for Scott Foster a few years ago when he e-bugged for the Blackhawks. This was like 2016, 2017 time. Everyone got a Scott Foster that was a 99 in Hut. And the night after he e-bugged, that was like EA's event. I would have, if I had gone with the college theme, I would have Googled him and been like, where did Scott Foster go to college? Um, which I know he had to because he's an accountant, and accountants typically go to college. So we took a shot on that. But like, if I e-bugged and something like that happened, I would be like, well, I qualified because I went to X university. So I kind of, but like fathers and sons, that's a great. I love doing the family teams. But yeah, I forget who we had this year because we didn't have Tagger Tuesday. We had we had Justin Bive. I forget who the other guy we had on our team was. But his dad also had played in the NHL, and he was really good. But I can't think of the last name now.
I'm looking at the roster and I'm gonna spit names out, and then if you can. Oh, you deleted your roster. God, why do you do that?
I don't know. I don't know why the web designer did that. That's not me. I'm going to eliteprospects.com, which is my favorite hockey stats website. Season 23, 24.
I'll just throw a guess out here. Like, are you gonna allow me to do that? Is it Parento?
No.
Damn.
Brento was good though. It's not any of our goaltenders. It was a forward. Just need to look. Ben Howardchuk. Dale Howardchuk's son. The late Dale Howardchuk's son.
Isn't there a Parento in the league though?
There might be. Like I said, off the top of my head, I knew it was dad's. He didn't fit the dad and the son. Because there's also a.
There's P.A. Parento. Pierre Alexander Parento.
But yeah, Ben Howardchuk, his dad was, and it stinks to say Dale Howardchuk. Late great Winnipeg Jet, and apparently Philadelphia Flyer. I really didn't know Dale played anywhere but the Winnipeg Jets, but he played for the Blues too, which makes sense because Ben's from St. Louis. So Dale Howardchuk was a Buffalo Sabre too. I did not know this. There is so much about Dale Howardchuk I did not know. But he died in the summer of 2020. I know. He was very, very good at the hockey.
At the puck.
He was very good at the hockeys.
Oh, plural.
Yeah, the hockeys, just all of it. But
Was he like the Taysom Hill of hockey? What would you say?
oh no, he was actually good at hockey.
Who would be the Taysom Hill of hockey if you had to pick
Oh,
someone?
if I had to pick the Taysom Hill of the NHL, okay, it's got to be some random grinder, right?
He's got to be a greasy sob.
Oh yeah, yeah. Who would be the Taysom Hill of hockey? You know, it's not an exact match, but I would have to say I know who's voted the NHL All-Star one time. He was fan voted in. I'm never gonna remember his name.
I'm no help to you right now. So
It's fine. It's a very
look. Since I have the ESPN Plus Hulu pack, I'm gonna watch more hockey this year. That's kind of a goal to myself.
so. There's a couple guys that like were good hockey players that ironically, I could probably make some level of argument of he is the Taysom Hill because he was just very good, but he's not as elite, like in the memory banks of, but was very good in his time. First name on that list, Worcester native Bill Curran. Yes, you heard me right. Worcester native.
Worcester, as the Ohio, the Ohio's say
No, they say
Wooster,
Worcester out here,
which
which is also wrong.
is which is incorrect. And I say that whenever I've heard incorrect New England things pronounced the way they are, not gonna lie, that was an ick for me.
That-
Like it bothered me down to my core. I mean, I just didn't have I'm just too nice of a person to say that. You know what I mean?
But I will say the ultimate Taysom Hill of professional hockey and the NHL in as a whole has to be John Scott. That's the other reason I couldn't remember his name. He is so generic. Kind of a journeyman, which I realize Taysom Hill has not been a journeyman. Um,
I mean, on the field, he's like a journeyman.
that's exactly what I was gonna say. His play, he hasn't been a journeyman in the sense that he is playing multiple cities. But as far as a true journeyman, I would say it's him. He was undrafted, right? So that automatically kind of sets you up to be this like kind of weird folk hero, and I think Taysom Hill is gonna get some weird folk hero status, at least in the lore of me and my family. I'm gonna tell them that Taysom Hill was the greatest thing since sliced bread, and they'll be like, "Dad, you know Tom Brady existed." I'll be like, "Don't talk about him in the same sentence as Taysom Hill."
I'm done.
I don't need you
We're
painting
done.
Mr. Taysom Hill's name like that.
Don't you slander him. When was the last time Tom Brady lined up at linebacker?
I don't know, when he was in like the 7th grade, probably. But like, so
Oh, this makes so much sense.
what?
He's from, you know what? I hate to bring a former employer into this, but he's been a tenured Green Bay Packer longer than our ex-employer.
What?
Taysom Hill was on the Packers before he was with the Saints.
Taysom Hill was a Packer?
Yeah.
So can I say that's the second like decently very good quarterback? Because I think Taysom Hill is decently very good, which is a very weird bar to have. But
I think he was cut by the Packers before.
you know who else the Packers cut? Before he blew up and was a guy? Or not the Packers. Packers didn't cut him.
Falcons.
Oh, yeah, they did. The Packers did cut him. Mr. Kurt Warner.
You know who also had him?
The Falcons.
The Iowa Barnstormers.
Also, that's true. Do you know I watched that movie not that long ago?
I still haven't seen it.
I bought it on Amazon the day it came out, and it's actually a very good movie. And it shows arena football in a relatively positive light for the most part. But I bought it on Amazon when it first came out, and I like it. But to get back to my actual point here, because there was a point here, the most Taysom Hill-esque NHL player has to be John Scott. The reasoning for a John Scott as the most Taysom Hill-esque player immediately starts with undrafted and a 10-year career. That's first of all, a 10-year career in the NHL is actually pretty damn impressive, if you ask me. It's pretty hard to do. He went from Michigan Tech, which is a pretty good school. He played in the AHL for the Houston Aeros for was a Wild, then he bounced back to the AHL, then he was in the Wild, then he went to the Blackhawks for a couple years. Does he have a friggin' Stanley Cup ring? He might have a Stanley Cup.
Dibs on the Stanley Cup.
That's awesome.
Dibs on the Stanley Cup.
They're also making a movie about his All-Star game in 2016.
I'm going to repeat myself one more time.
Dibs on the Stanley Cup, I know.
Dibs on the Stanley Cup. So, in turn, if you end up winning a Stanley Cup, it is actually mine.
No. So he got dealt on the deadline to the Rangers, so he didn't win a Stanley Cup. And then he was a Sabre, then he played for the Sharks. Then he was on the Arizona Coyotes, traded to the Canadiens during the 15-16 season. In the 15-16 season, the NHL was like, oh, we need to increase engagement in the All-Star game. What are we going to do? We're going to take baseball's vote for players. He gets voted in. Now, you're not eligible for the All-Star game if you play in the American Hockey League. So what do the Canadiens do when that slot got announced? Dude, we're shipping him to the AHL to St. John's, but it didn't stick. And they let him play in the All-Star game where he got the MVP. Which, if that's not the most Taysom Hill-esque thing you could do, kind of have like a journeyman middling career just to be a All-Star and be the MVP of the All-Star game. That's amazing. So that would be my opinion on the most Taysom Hill-esque player in the NHL. And there's probably a better example. There's probably a way better example. Yager's probably a pretty good example because he just was around forever and did a little bit of everything. I think you could probably Tuukka Rask. You could argue in the same light, although Taysom Hill doesn't have championships yet. And yes, I said yet. I think he's going to win a Super Bowl here in the next 5 years, or he'll retire.
He'll just end up demanding a Super Bowl ring. So,
hey, when it happens, I called it. Also, he'll be Super Bowl MVP, whatever. If the Saints make a Super Bowl with Taysom Hill, he will be Super Bowl MVP.
you realize if like he wasn't in the NFL, how good he'd be in arena football?
The fact that he hasn't considered jumping ship is my favorite part about him. Because I think he would be, by far, overly elite in arena football. Just the pace of play, the fact that he can play Iron Man, which he's showing.
So, just for the record, if you haven't seen that Taysom Hill video, go to any of the links below there, down there, and we got some Taysom Hill content down there.
Of course, we got some Taysom.
And there will, whenever he does something, we will make sure that we notify everybody about it because that is the type of player that he is.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I am drafting him in fantasy football. I'm probably drafting him way too early. But it doesn't matter because do you know how mad everyone's gonna be in the league, whether it's the league I'm in with you or the other league I'm in with you, and Taysom Hill is gonna be it. No, I've already called dibs on Mr. Taysom Hill. I've had dibs on him for 3 years, sir. Just saying. I'm debating.
Dude, Taysom,
I'm debating.
he might as well be your keeper player, honestly.
Like kind of jokingly, I feel that. But in all honesty, I'll keep a different player, and then I'll just pick up Taysom Hill later on because no one wants him ever, despite him being really good.
Will that player have the same initials, or?
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping that I have a different T Hill.
I mean, you could also just elect him as your keeper, and you don't have to worry about it.
That's who I'm probably gonna take as my keeper, honestly. In the league that you're the commissioner for, sir.
So hear me out. I think when we do that draft, I think just a quick. I think we should engage with our audience and compare the rosters that we compile for that draft.
I agree. We can compare all four of
You,
our both our
I
rosters.
think we're gonna let our little.
We're in 2 leagues, so
So the league that I commission when we draft, we'll compare that roster.
okay.
I think that one will be the most. Granted, I'm going to preface this with the it is an 8 league team with keeper. It's an 8 team dynasty league. So if the rosters look a bit more stacked than they actually are, that's what you get with an 8 team league. Rosters are going to be stacked.
Oh, I agree. But here's the thing, right? Hear me out as we continue down this little rabbit hole of shenanigans. I actually
That's what this whole podcast.
I think I found my fantasy football team name, and it's please don't degrade Taysom Hill by comparing him to Tom Brady, especially in the other league that we're in.
One of them is the goat, and the other one deflated footballs. Take your pick on who's who.
I'm just saying, the day Tom Brady lines up at linebacker, I'll admit that he's the goat.
I want Tom Brady lining up at fucking nose tackle. Not linebacker. He's in the trenches. He's not behind nobody. He's leading the charge at another quarterback.
But how mad do you think our other league, like not the one you're the commissioner in, but the one that we're just both in, would be if I made that comment? Because it's all hardcore Patriots fans outside of the two of us.
Did you just say that?
No, I didn't, but I really should.
No, but if you looked at the text I sent you,
I have
like
I have not because my phone lives in my pocket when we cast pod.
so mine's on a dock. I have some other stuff going on there, but
It's on set.
I also need to charge my phone, so there's that.
Give me 10 minutes. I need to finish something.
So while we're on the football topic, do you want to transition to football and then
Yeah, sure.
probably?
We can talk about
Okay.
football. I'm not gonna lie. I've paid no attention to the preseason, and
I haven't either.
and so
Um,
I'm not.
we'll probably do our NFL preview
I would say
the Wednesday, the day before the first game. So 2 weeks from now.
no. We're doing it next week, bud. We're gonna
All right. So
unprepared. It has to be unprepared. It has to be just. It has to be gut feelings about the NFL. I can do it right now. I can do it right now.
we'll wait till next week because
My gut feelings
I'm
about
gonna.
the NFL. This
Here's the thing, right? No, America's team isn't the Dallas Cowboys.
It's the Cleveland Browns.
It's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
No,
And here's
no one
why.
likes the Pittsburgh Steelers.
So here's why the Steelers are going to be the very surprising team out of the AFC in the 2024 season. All right? Hear me out. So they've started a rebuild without nuking the team entirely, which not many other teams can do. All right? So they said, all of our quarterbacks suck. Let's get new ones. So they went out and got new ones. And Russell Wilson and Justin Fields, who can actually run with the football and not look totally awkward with the football. With that, they bolstered the offensive line. They brought in a new offensive coordinator. So this offensive coordinator is none other than Arthur Smith, who was in charge of that Titans renaissance when they had like 2 playoff years under Mike Vrabel. When Derrick Henry is like the running back god that everybody knows him as. While bringing back, when healthy, a top 5 defense in the NFL. I don't think you can you can't argue with me there, Mr. Browns fan.
No, I can't. But it's gonna be a really tough 6-win season for you.
It's going to be a tough 9-win season.
I think the Steelers are gonna get 6.
No. So here's the thing about this roster, right? It's basically the same roster that's going to steal games that they shouldn't win, but then lose the ones that they should win. So hence 9-8, maybe 10-7 if we're feeling lucky.
So here's why I think the Steelers, and it's no hate to the Steelers Steelers. This is actually like there's objective thought here. You said it the best. When healthy, the injury bug
That
has been hitting the Steelers defense earlier and earlier every year. The earlier it hits, the worse your record. That's just science.
but we also come out with a winning record, so that point is almost obsolete. But
Was this the closest you've been to a 500 record in
no,
the last 5 years?
we were 8-1 year. We were pretty close.
Okay, fine.
We've been 8-8 a few times. But so here's the thing, right? They
And
brought in
to be fair, TJ Watt's my favorite player. Like actively right now, he's one of my favorite players to watch. I know. I saw the jersey.
That's why I wore it.
He's actively one of my favorite. He and JJ are two of my favorite NFL players of all time. And I'll give him respect. He's fantastic. But the injury bug comes earlier and earlier for him every year.
And then you see the difference with him on and off the field too. Like that's a very clear difference. Like not a lot of players have a team. Not a lot of teams have a player, or that difference is very, very literal.
So
And that's kind of
that's my point entirely. Why I think it's going to be a really tough 6-1 season because I think he's just going to get the unfortunateness of the injury bug is going to come and catch him too early in the season, and because the Steelers are such a different team with TJ and without TJ, unless they addressed a lot of those issues to tighten up everything else so that they can play when inevitably TJ Watt is hurt pretty early in the season.
so that's why they brought. So they've revamped. They brought in some linebacker depth. So they stole Patrick Queen from the Ravens, which that was a move that fell under a bit.
It's a pretty good move.
Because you realize now that was a huge move if you really think about it. Moving in division to a rival like that doesn't happen in the NFL as often as like in the NBA or the NFL or MLB.
Mm-hmm.
And then the O line's still an issue, but we brought in two of the top prospects at their respective positions at center and tackle. But they're still a young group, so there's going to be a lot of learning curve there.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the offense, that's where all the questions lie. The offense is going to dictate how the season's going to go. Because so they brought in Fields and Wilson and Arthur Smith to run the whole show. But the core of the offense, and both quarterbacks and Najee Harris are on 1-year deals. So Najee's 5th-year option got declined. So he's a free agent. Russell Wilson and Fields are on basically 1-year deals. So I don't know how it's going to go, but I think they'll figure it out. That's what they're always good at, is they'll figure it out.
No, I agree.
So
and the other thing is, I think the AFC North is the toughest division of football.
It's the most gridlock division.
So that's why I think it's the toughest, because I think top to bottom, there wasn't a single team with a losing record this past year, right?
Yeah, and if you look top down, I think it was settled within 3 games from top to bottom.
The Bengals were officially on paper the worst, and they still had a 9-8 record or something.
I think there's like a 4-game difference from top bottom, and not other divisions can have that. So what I think the offense is going to do is you're going to run that offense. Oh, what are we doing?
I'm looking up the standings from last year. Yeah,
So
last year, the Ravens were 13-4. The Browns were 11-6. The Steelers were 10-7, and the Bengals were 9-8. There was no other division with all teams over 500 in the AFC or the NFC. The closest division to the AFC North. What was the next division that had the best worst team? You're gonna be surprised by this one, I think.
I guess would have been the NFC North, but
You were correct. The Packers were 12-5, or the Lions were 12-5. The Packers were 9-8. The Vikings and the Bears were both 7-10. Mind you, the NFC East, the Commanders were 4-13. The Panthers were 2-15. West, the Cardinals were 4-13. In the AFC, the Patriots were 4-13. The Chargers were 5-12. The Titans were 6-11. The AFC South was the next like most competitive.
And with that, right? So I think going back to the offense, and I'm gonna kind of just ramble here for a bit. So the offense, bringing in the new OC, they're gonna go back to what the Steeler offense has always been. It's kind of very run heavy, power run, play action, play off.
I mean, you can't give
So
Jerome Bettis the ball anymore. He's been retired for 20 years.
no, so that's why I think that Najee Harris, Jalen Warren duo is to be such a focal point because you're going to put them in and kind of interchange what their roles are going to be. And they're going to really be kind of the focal point aside from the quarterbacks because if those two are playing well, it kind of opens up what George Pickens and that very, very weak receiver group can do. Because after George Pickens, there really isn't like a number two guy. They're all I think we all got a bunch of guys on 1-year deals, but we drafted Roman Wilson out of Michigan. So that's where I see like Pat Fryermuth and the tight end group kind of stepping up a little bit, where they'll get some of those targets that some of those lower depth chart receivers might not get. But I still think on paper, when healthy, that offense, given the right situations, can actually be very, very dangerous if you set it up the right way. And if they play the way that they've been saying that they want to play.
No, that's fine. I'm not going to disagree with you on that. I'm just saying.
But
I think the AFC North is just so tight, top to bottom, as we've mentioned, as we've highlighted. I'm going to make a take. It could be hot. It could be cold. I'm not sure. It could be right. It could be completely wrong. I don't think a single AFC North team will sweep another AFC North team. I think every single game it'll be a 500 split.
Yeah.
This year, that's what I think it's going to be, and I think more than likely you'll win your home game.
That's how it usually goes too. So I'm not going to be surprised.
The exception I will give to that is the Ravens will win in Pittsburgh, and the Steelers will win in Baltimore, and the Browns and Bengals. It'll be the same thing.
Yeah.
They'll win on. So I guess actually I'm just saying you'll only win on the road. Well, the Browns will beat the Steelers and Ravens at home, and then the Ravens will beat the Browns and Bengals. Steelers will beat the Browns and Bengals. Because I just feel like Pittsburgh is probably the toughest home stadium to play at. I think coming in as the away fan to those 4 stadiums in the AFC North, I think Pittsburgh is probably the toughest one, which is weird for me to say. But I feel like
I think it's just because of the tradition of it all. I think being like the most like blue collar fan base in that way.
I was gonna say the pedigree of playing at Pittsburgh. I think just there were so many good Steelers defenses throughout the years that
this one again when healthy is top 5 in my opinion. And I'll die on that hill if I need to, but like when you bring back the same core that they're going to bring back with T.J. Watt, Cam Hayward, Minka Fitzpatrick, Alex Highsmith, Joey Porter, so on and so forth, with Patrick Queen, with Peyton Wilson, like you get a defense that's going to be running at everybody, not afraid to run through the front line.
No, that's fine.
They're going to get. I mean, the Steelers' defense always gets beat with a deep ball. Well, it's not a secret. That hasn't been. That's been common knowledge forever. So it's not like it's going to be. It's not like anything's changed there. I know that I want them to tighten that up, but who knows? I'm going to shift back to the offense so I can get this point in here for the edit. But I do think Russell Wilson's going to be the starting QB. That's kind of common knowledge, but I think if Justin Fields, I feel like is kind of more on his heels, and I think what I've been reading, kind of what I've been seeing on Twitter and through ESPN and all that kind of stuff, that I feel like Fields is kind of he's not making Russ look over his shoulder in a way, but I feel like he's going to be doing the things that he needs to do to kind of say, hey, I'm here. I want to prove what I can do. So that if Russ kind of slips up enough, you get that switch over to where Fields can run that offense and you kind of see what both of them can do. So if Russ has to miss like 2 games with an injury, that gives Fields 2 full games to run. And then you make that decision on, okay, one of these 2 guys is going to be running this offense for the rest of the year. And then whoever I think performs the best is who's going to come back and be our quarterback after that.
No, that makes perfect sense to me. Again, um, I'm gonna say this, and I hate to say this, but I'm afraid Russell Wilson is gonna have a Aaron Rodgers esque season this year.
I mean, I think
The
he's got an upgraded offense compared to what he had in Denver. I'm not going to be
No,
like
I'm not saying that. I'm just he is old. Like objectively, he is old. So I think the Steelers did the right thing. I think the Jets didn't do it with Aaron Rodgers. They brought in another guy who could step in as that starting gig tomorrow, right? Like,
yeah.
so I think that's probably the best move they made, and I think it's because of the Aaron Rodgers experiment going so poorly last year for the Jets.
I mean, I think,
If you want me to be completely
but also
truthfully honest,
That was also Aaron. It's Aaron Rodgers' job until he wants to go away. So like, it's 2 different situations, but it's also the same kind of idea at the same time.
but my point is, the Steelers seem to be planning for it. Like, and I hope
Yeah.
they had that conversation with Russ, and they're like, "We're bringing you in to be number one." And I'd assume they had the same conversation with Fields as well. We brought Russell Wilson in to be number one. You're coming in to be number two, but understand Russell Wilson's old as hell. In football,
I feel like
he's old.
I feel like that conversation went like they kind of left the door open.
Whoever's
That
better
door
is
is
getting the
definitely
job.
open.
I think whoever's better is getting the job. But if I'm Justin Fields, right, I'm coming in. I'm like, well, this is an automatic upgrade from the Bears, right? Like, it is an upgrade from the Bears.
That receiving core is a little bit better in Chicago, though.
But overall, I think the situation in Pittsburgh is an upgrade from the Bears, especially where the Bears have been the last 3-4 years.
Yeah, because they refuse to get him help, and then he leaves, and they get Caleb Williams all the help. But that's also a different scenario that you're in, where you get handed the #1 pick.
Mm-hmm. But so I'm thinking that's partly why they brought Justin Fields in was as a backup plan to Mister Mr.
Unlimited.
Russell Wilson.
I think there's a lot of big play potential with either of them at quarterback. It's just a matter of which one of them will be able to bring that more consistently once one of them is firmly in place.
Justin Fields is about to be the second best former quarterback at tight end.
We're leaving Taysom Hill out of the Steelers debate because he'll be there next year anyway.
No, Taysom Hill can go wherever he wants. Honestly, I'll say this: this is a legitimate take, and
That's not Lowell, Massachusetts.
I think Taysom Hill. There's probably 3 teams in the NFL. If Taysom Hill walked on that field, he'd be their starting quarterback tomorrow. I think right now the state of the New England Patriots, Taysom Hill could be their starting quarterback tomorrow, and they'd be
Yep.
good. They'd be good. They'd be pretty good. It's probably the only AFC team. I'd say maybe the Cardinals even, because they were pretty bad last year. Even though
But they've locked into Kyler though, so I
I was
think
gonna say even though they have Kyler Murray, the Broncos. I think if Taysom Hill walked into Mile High, it's like, hey, we did the Tim Tebow thing. Taysom Hill is basically the same. So that is AFC.
I'd put him in division and put him in Carolina. I'm not gonna lie,
Carolina, yep.
put him in Carolina.
I hadn't gotten that far yet. I was gonna say, honestly, the Washington Commanders too. I think Taysom Hill could step on that turf tomorrow and be their starting quarterback.
Sorry, give me a second. I'm gonna start a fire real quick. You're just gonna let this happen.
I was hoping that the take would be able to be internalized on the internet before you alerted the child.
No, he. If I didn't put
To be
a
fair,
future, if I didn't put a future down on Jaden Daniels, I would have let it slide. But since I did, we're gonna have to let him address that.
he is typing. My phone is being a butt, so I can't load Snapchat. But
All right. Anyway, Drew's on my side.
I disagree. I don't see facts.
I'm gonna let you plead your case later, but if we get Drew on the pod, we'll let you plead your case.
Again, purely conjecture, purely a joke, based on their records last year.
Um. Anyway, back to the Steelers. While you sort out this priority that you're gonna have to address at the date in the future.
I'm never gonna
Um.
address it. I'm just gonna let it go, and then when it happens, when I've made it happen by the end of the season, you're gonna be really mad at me.
Look, it's just that I think the Steelers really can surprise people, given that they have a roster that didn't turn over, but they somehow got better in the places they needed to.
Mm-hmm.
Minus that they do have a trade framework in place for the 49ers, but I don't really think Ayuk is going to get traded at this point. So like I'm just kind of taking that with a grain of salt. But if they land Ayuk, we could revisit this topic next week or whenever that trade goes through.
Oh, fair.
But I really think that they could be on the same path that they're on because they didn't have to scrap the roster. If they scrap the roster even more, I think they could be a sub 500 team. I still think they'll be their ceiling is maybe 9, maybe 10 wins if they get lucky to have 10.
So so
I think the ceiling's 9-8 for me,
so
but
my point.
I'll give them room for like a 10th or maybe an 11th if they get slightly hot this year.
So my point on why I think it's gonna be a tough 6-win season. Teams that wind up in these like partial rebuilds perpetually always do poorly. They always do poorly, even though the core is there. The potential is there. The point is there, and just these perpetual rebuild teams. Look at. I'm a Browns fan. This is the first year in a while that I was proud of what the Browns did, and they've never blown up the roster. They keep bringing back the same core year over year with just a few slight changes, and then even when it's a good year, and then it's just all downhill.
I feel like this is kind of the AFC North way, and I think we can kind of go at this when we talk about the division full circle. Is that the AFC North teams don't like blow up the roster when they win 4 games. They just kind of slowly upgrade where they need to upgrade.
And it,
So that's what I was getting at with like they kind of that's what I was getting at with the offense earlier. It's like they upgrade the pieces that they need to upgrade, but they're not going to scrap the roster because it all failed. It's like they have more belief in their roster versus like a Carolina Panthers or
mm-hmm. But
you know
my
hell
point
even the
is like
Chicago Bears a couple years ago.
you get this. My favorite example is the 0-16 season. The Cleveland Browns in no way should have been 0-16, especially after that preseason they had that year. But I thought they were going to be like a 7-8 win team. I thought they were going to be 8-8. I actually remember this vividly. I said they were going to go 8-8 that year. I said I think it's going to be a pretty good year. I think the small amount of rebuild we've done, it's same thing as your take. We've brought back a lot of the core. When healthy, we have a really good defense, and offense is great when you have the right guy at quarterback. So that was kind of my take on that season, and then obviously they lost so many games in overtime. They lost so many games in the last 4 minutes of the game. They lost so many of those 16 games, and it was to the point where it was just and then they still did the slow rebuild, slow rebuild. Obviously, they brought Baker in. He finally wins a game, which was fantastic. And then and they're just a team that did slow rebuild, but it took so long
Yeah,
from the
they're kind of an
2016,
example of like,
my senior year
yeah,
of college. That was 2017 NFL season till last year is the first like well 2020 obviously didn't make the playoffs, right? The 2021 season.
yeah, COVID year.
COVID year they make the playoffs, they beat the Steelers, but like the this last 2 3 seasons is the first time the Browns have been good, like honestly good in my life, and that's the thing. They didn't blow up the team, and they were just mediocre. They'd have a 10-win season and then be mediocre for another 4 years, and so that's why I think the Steelers are probably going to follow that same track. I think, like you said, it's the AFC North's way.
Yeah, and I think that division is going to be. I think it'll level itself off, but I don't think the Steelers are ever going to really drop off unless all the core guys are down for an extended period of time.
Mm-hmm. But you know,
Like,
and that's the beautiful thing though. You never know, and it sucks to say because like your core is great, and I'm not, and I'm not discounting it, but that's my opinion.
and
Also, I'm never high on rookies picked for in the first 3 picks, um, because you have so many Demarcus Russells of the world.
yeah, and that's going to be a debate for another day.
So that's the other thing where I think is a value in.
Yeah, I think we're at a good point to call it,
Yeah.
and we can definitely circle back to this for the NFL talk that we're going to do next week.
On Wednesday, so in just a few short days.
Yeah, so kind of a quick content breakdown. Um, so we're gonna try something new. We're gonna get the full episode on to the YouTube channel tomorrow, probably tomorrow afternoon at some point, and then we'll kind of get the shorts out throughout the week, if not, every few days when we can. So definitely keep an eye out for those.
And our Twitter will kind of be vaguely
The
active,
almost hour.
grabbing the YouTube short version of all of them and getting them out as they go. I'm also going to try to get the bot up to the point where it should auto tweet for me anytime we post on YouTube with the link. I'm working.
Yeah. Then any
I'm
other.
working on getting that set up. And same with I'll get it linked to the TikTok and Instagram as well, so that the Twitter kind of can be active as a result of us being active other places. That's my
Yeah.
point and my hope, and hopefully we just get a little better at the content as we go here.
And we're still spitballing ideas off pod, so we're still kind of figuring out what's going to work and what won't. But we're excited to see where we go.
I mean, as we noted, this was our 10th week. Like we've done this 10 times. No one's good at anything the 10th time they do it. I had to call my boss today to ask him how to do something because we worked remotely today. Um, I had to ask him, hey, how do I do this thing that I've done 45 times? Like, I know how to do it. I did it 40 other times, but that's my opinion. And I think that's where we will leave it, Mr. Alex.
Sir,
Sir, I will see you on Wednesday.
pleasure. See you then.